And you able to talk a little bit more about the results of that campaign? So I think that's really interesting. The fact that it's a multi-channel, coordinated campaign. It's probably, for a lot of smaller businesses, startup business, isn't necessarily something that they think of, and maybe or they try and do it, like you said before, try and do it themselves. And it's not as easy as it seems to kind of try and coordinate that. Even trying to post on 3 social media channels in one go is hard work, never mind because create a coordinated campaign approach. So maybe talk to us a bit more about how you kind of executed that, what it looked like, and then kind of some of the results you were able to drive.
No, you're right. It's sometimes only when you talk about these things you realize the Herculean challenges that were involved in actually bringing this to launch, considering, as I said, the digital inadequacies of the inventor. That I literally, with my team, had to do a lot of this ourselves. So there's a lot of planning and structure, which goes back to when I was working in the financial services sector, putting in place a plan that says, okay, we're going to do this in 6 stages. Stage 1 is, what are we going to do? We're going to do a press release telling certain people that we're going to launch this. Okay, how do you do a press release? Right, because my partner's a PR specialist, it was like, okay, you need a contact strategy, you need a little black book, or you need people who you're trying to target and tell them about your service or your product. Okay, social media is going to be massive, but you then got to understand what product or service you're selling and what market and platform that works on. So everyone knows now you've got everything from TikTok to Snapchat to Instagram to Facebook to Twitter to Reddit to YouTube to LinkedIn. It's understanding which of those will work for the client. You're trying to sweat every dollar. You're trying to ensure that they're not wasting £1,000 going down a particular avenue, because one, it impacts badly on you and perceptions about what you're trying to do for them, but also ultimately there is then less money for them to spend on marketing to get it right. So we're quite methodical about the way that we do the planning. There's got to be some test and learn, A/B testing, as we all know, but there's got to be a planning process in place, which you've got to handhold certain clients through. So that is one of the key things that we did, is the planning process. Secondly is skill up the team that you want on that project in the right way. So are you going to need someone to build a website and landing pages? If so, do get someone in there who is design minded, so it looks aesthetically bob on, but also you then need the copywriter who can write the copy so that it's got SEO value, so that it gets picked up by the right search engine algorithms. So there's a lot of elements behind building a campaign that, as I was saying to you earlier, clients sometimes don't understand when they try and do it all at once. So lots of processes, lots of putting people in the right places, putting together a plan, and then presenting that plan back to the clients, and then going, yeah, okay, I can see where the ROI is in that, because a lot of this marketing, kind of what we got with the current pandemic, is one of the first things that a lot of companies cut is marketing. So you kind of trying to instill in them that it's not about likes and engaging comments from your audience. You're trying to generate leads, or you're trying to build a lasting sentiment in the mind of the consumer that you are a brand who's credible and a brand that they should use. So there's quite a few elements that we pulled together. Anyway, as I was saying, you put together the plan, go through the plan with the client, and then we've got that phased approach. Here's what we're trying to do at the very beginning: create some awareness. Okay, when you've created awareness, what are you trying to do then? What are you trying to stimulate your consumer or your audience to do? Do you want them to buy? Do you want them to go to a website? Do you want them to just fill out a form for now? Do you want them to tell their friends? Or do you want them to come, as what this particular activity was, is to go to a crowdfunding site? What we wanted to do is we wanted to show them how amazing this product was and its multifunctional capabilities and its relatively cheap price point for all these things it could do, and then get them to go to the crowdfunding platform and say, I want a bit of that, I'll buy this. That then gave them a bigger pot of money that they would then be able to then use to do the tooling in China. So just to round that piece off, we were kind of given a challenge of generating 40,000 US dollars. So they could do the tooling. The success of the digital marketing campaign that we generated enabled us to raise 250,000 US dollars in 6.5 to 8 weeks. And that was, for us, that convinced me, one, this is exciting, two, we know what we're doing, we're on the right path, and three, it's quite good to then get the feedbacks from the clients, obviously and understandably. This has worked, can you do more with this? I'm going to introduce you to a friend who they've got their own business and they're doing X, and then that's how these things can start to snowball. And it was quite exciting because we used a professional to make a video, like a 3-minute video, that we would then edit into different editable bite-sized consumables for different channels, and then that would get picked up in random places like Japan or in Sydney, and they would then be talking about it on their blogs or on their Facebook user groups, and then we'd be getting backlinks to the client's landing page talking about this revolutionary all-in-one barbecue. So obviously that then helps us in our marketing to understand there is a lot of power behind digital marketing. It's instantaneous as well. You can literally put something out there, and it's quite easy and cliche to say, oh, something can go viral. It's what you want that viral to be. If you get 100,000 likes and ultimately you get 2 orders, it's gone viral, but it hasn't generated anything for you. Ultimately, if you get 100,000 orders and you can only service 20, you've got a very disappointed initial customer base, and first impressions count, and those customers won't come back. So it's putting together a very clever and nuanced marketing strategy and in-channel tactics to make these things work.